This is a typical decontamination line through the Contaminant Reduction Zone, or CRZ, also known as the decon corridor. The actual method and setup for decon used is dependent on the actual contaminant, the levels encountered, and other considerations. Consult an industrial hygienist or other experienced occupational health specialist. All tools to be reused in the contaminated area are dropped here to be reused in the hot zone. When job is complete, tools will be properly decontaminated before removing from hot zone or properly disposed of. In the first pool, use a pressure hose to thoroughly spray off all loose contaminants. Then, wash from head to toe, no part untouched. Use long-handled brushes and lightly pressurized water. Remove outer gloves and boot covers. It's important to remember, always move forward through decon, never backward. Rinse thoroughly and using contaminant-specific test outside of suit for residual contamination. Upon negative test for contaminants, begin taking the suit off by opening suit and dropping below the waist. Do not remove regulator or facepiece. Sit and remove hazmat boots. Completely remove and dispose of suit. Disconnect from regulator, remove tank, and leave the facepiece on. Following suit decon, proceed to final respirator, facepiece, and inner glove decontamination. Decon staff does not share equipment with each other or move from station to station. Decon staff must be decontaminated to the level that they have entered.
After the spill has been cleaned up, everyone involved in the cleanup will have to undergo decontamination, or decon. Decontamination usually takes place in what is called a contamination reduction corridor, often referred to as a CRC. The CRC restricts decon activities to a limited area and helps to keep workers who are still contaminated from leaving the cleanup site. The decontamination solutions that are used in the CRC are usually nothing more than water mixed with detergent. However, if you are contaminated by a substance that will react with water, a specialized decontamination mixture must be used. Remember, once decon procedures have been completed, the solutions used in the contamination reduction corridor need to be properly disposed of. These solutions are often contaminated and must be handled according to specific OSHA guidelines. See your supervisor if you have any questions about how to deal with used decontamination solutions. Personal protective equipment, PPE, is a blanket term for anything you wear that protects you from contamination.
Inspect for gross contaminants. Choose appropriate cleaning tool to help facilitate removal of bioburden gross debris. Inspect, brush, and flush all lumens and ports, and re-inspect all lumens are clean and clear. Step 11. Place clean submersible instruments in wash pan and basket. Place instruments in an orderly fashion with all jaws wide open to ensure all surfaces are exposed for proper washing. Delicate and sharp instruments should be placed on top of heavy items or separated for safety and protection of delicate instruments. Place pan or basket in ultrasonic if appropriate, i.e., if any chance of gross contaminations on items. Attach the lumen cleaner as needed. Run ultrasonic per manufacturer's instructions. Remove pan from ultrasonic. Place pan or basket of sonic instruments on washer rack. Load washer. Number 1, open washer door. Number 2, push in instrument rack. Number 3, close door. Number 4, pick appropriate cycle. Number 5, push start button. Don appropriate clean heat protecting gloves to pull rack out of the washer on clean side.
These three elements work together to protect you from hazardous materials. But without decontamination, you could still end up being exposed. Decontamination, decon for short, means removing hazardous substances from your PPE and other equipment, or changing these materials into a harmless form. Without decontamination, your PPE could become saturated with the very same chemicals that you need protection from. In time, this might present more of a hazard to you than your worksite does. Personal protective equipment, PPE, is a blanket term for anything you wear that protects you from contamination, as well as physical injuries. PPE includes chemical protective clothing, CPC, respirators, and gear such as hard hats, face shields, and work boots. These three elements work together to protect you from hazardous materials, but without decontamination, you could still end up being exposed. Decontamination, decon for short, means removing hazardous substances from your PPE and other equipment, or changing these materials into a harmless form. Without decontamination, your PPE could become saturated with the very same chemicals that you need protection from. In time, this might present more of a hazard to you than your worksite does.